Hello, this is David and welcome to Make Me Proud, the video series sharing the story of my campaign to become a better sprint swimmer. And this week I'm in Funchal, Madeira for the European Masters Short Course Swimming Championships 2023. I'm super excited about this one because not only is it my European but also my international debut. And by way of events, I've got a hot lineup for you, including the 50, 100 and 200 meters freestyle, as well as the 50 meters butterfly. So if you give this video a like, I'd very much appreciate it. And remember to subscribe to my channel / follow this page to make sure that you know of whenever I upload any new videos. But otherwise, without any further ado, let's dive right in to today's competition.
Number 50, best paid for these plans, 200 meters freestyle, zero from number 1 from this week's Westcough, number 2 from Masterclass, from this week's number 3 from Madeira,
So a 2:18.47 in the 200 meters freestyle, which constitutes a personal best for me of just about a quarter of a second, beating the time that I set only 3 weeks ago at Masters Nationals. So super chuffed about that to begin with. With regards to improvements in that race, I went out so quickly. I went out in a high 103, I think it was a 103.9, which was about 3 seconds quicker, nearly 3.5 seconds quicker than the 107-ish that I went out in Masters Nationals. It was looking good. I was looking good for a 2:15, right up until the 150 mark, but then died on the last 50, perhaps the last 75, meaning that the PB was only marginal this time around. So I think there's a lot for me to learn in the 200 meters with regards to race pacing. I paced myself a whole lot better at Masters Nationals, where other than the first 50 where I had the dive, I was able to consistently hit 35 points with each of the back 350s, meaning that I really paced myself well. However, in this one, I went out in a 30 as opposed to a 32 on the first 50, then progressively just got slower and slower with each successive 50 on this one. So had I gone out a little bit slower, then but still a little bit quicker than I went out at Masters Nationals, that PB could have been perhaps a bit bigger, But the 200 isn't one that I race all that often. It's typically one that I only do once a year at Masters Nationals, and I threw it into Europeans because I thought, why the hell not? So therefore can't be too unhappy with it on the basis that I don't do an awful lot of training for it. But I think, yeah, a lot of room for improvement on there. If I were to train for it just in practicing race pacing, I'd be able to bring that time down rather significantly. So yeah, no, a good start. Always happy with a personal best, and super excited to see what the rest of my races bring. So a 28.31 in the 50 meters freestyle, which constitutes another personal best of 0.08 seconds. Again, beating the time that I set at Masters Nationals only 3 weeks ago. And although it was only a minor PB, what a race, full of drama, not quite evident from the actual race footage. However, upon entry in the dive, my goggles just filled up with water, and at the point I was doing my fly kicks, I was like, oh god, you know, I've blown it, that's it. But then something in my brain clicked and just said, you know, you're at Europeans, you're not going to make a fool of yourself, you're going to give this as good as you've got. So absolutely kept the arms ticking over at a high as a speed as I could. The big hazard with a 50 meters free and goggles full of water is that when you come to the tumble turn, you've just got absolutely no idea the point that you should be turning. But I thought, you know what, we're going to go for it, we're going to maverick it. And you know, I just see a yellow haze approach, I pick a point to tumble turn, absolutely nail it. It was like a scene from Top Gun where, you know, his navigation, you know, his aiming system with his missiles is off, but somehow he still manages to nail the shot. It was just absolutely, I couldn't absolutely believe it when my feet landed on the touchpad at the 25 meter mark, and just how well I nailed the turn. Launched myself off, and then once again, fly kick into powering my stroke down as much as I possibly could. Again, second hazard, although not quite as difficult as the tumble turn, is making sure that you spot the wall. Nearly glided out with my right arm right at the finish, but I thought, no, I'm not quite there yet. I'm just going to come in with my left arm to, you know, make sure that I hit the pad. And it was a good job I did, because if I'd have gone with my right arm, I wouldn't have touched the pad as early as I did. Nailing it, you know, coming home with a time of 28.31 and coming away with a personal best. So really chuffed about that. Maybe if my goggles hadn't filled up with water, could have been even faster still. However, you know, in such trying circumstances, getting a personal best is nothing to be snuffed at. So 2 for 2, extremely happy with how my races are going so far. I've got a little bit of a rest now, got 1.5 days rest before the 50 and 150 fly and 100 free on Thursday morning. So just giving us some time to do a little bit of tourist stuff, which is just, you know, absolutely lovely. So a 30.93 in the 50 meters butterfly, just 0.06 seconds off of the time that I set at the South Yorkshire Masters meet only a couple of weeks ago, and 0.36 off of the personal best time that I set about 4 weeks ago at Masters Nationals. However, I think the South Yorkshire's time is the better comparator for that race, as I've said in previous videos. At Masters Nationals, there's a ledge which you can hold on to on the turn, which means you can stabilise yourself, make the turn a little bit easier. Whereas at South Yorkshire Masters, it's a touchpad, and that was similarly the case at Europeans with the 50 metres fly. So that means it's a little bit more difficult to execute the turn, as you just slap and then you have to bring your legs from underneath you. Whereas at Masters Nationals, with that ledge, it's a lot easier to stabilise yourself, to bring your legs underneath you and change direction quickly. So yeah, I think the fact that it was only 0.06 off of that South Yorkshire Masters time mean that it's good. It's consistent time. I managed to keep it under 30 seconds once again. Similarly as well, because I took so much time off of my 50 metres fly personal best, rather than going for what I traditionally do on a 50 metres fly. I tried to mix it up a little bit, see if I could get even greater gains. So I tried keeping my head underwater on this 50 fly to try and breathe as less as possible. However, ultimately that didn't work for me as well today. Something that I need to practice on, but I thought, given that I'd done so well, I thought I'd try something new to see if I could get even further. But otherwise, a very good swim, under 31 seconds, and hopefully there's even more gains to come. So a 101.26 in the 100 metres freestyle, which constitutes a personal best of 0.57 seconds. So I've taken over half a second off my 100 metre time personal best, and I'm absolutely over the moon with that result. Was incredibly disappointed at Nationals not to personal best, and similarly with the follow-up opportunity at the South Yorkshire Masters Championships only a couple of weeks ago. So incredibly happy to have finally beaten the time of 101.83 that I beat in Glasgow. Interesting, as I went out quicker on the first 50 in this 100 metres freestyle than I did at Masters Nationals. I went out in a 29.2, whereas at Masters Nationals I went out in a 29.3. However, this time I managed to hold on in that back 50 to ensure that I came in with that personal best time. Really weird, because I was nearly a whole second quicker this time around than I was back at Masters Nationals. And I think the key reason for that was really nailing my tumble turns. I hit everyone really well this time, and I think my analysis post Nationals was correct in that had I hit each one of my tumble turns there, then that meant that I had less work to do with my arm stroke coming out of the turn, which at Nationals just lost me a whole load of energy, resulting in me dying down the final 12.5 metres of the 100 at Nationals. But this time hit them all nice and solidly, which meant that I had that energy to finish hard, nice and strong. And I absolutely did. Down that final 25, I really kept the revolutions going and held on for that personal best. So super chuffed. It was when I saw the result, I was like, where on earth has that come from? So super happy to end with that, and that's really made my championships. So as the curtain comes down on these European Championships, so too does it on my campaign for 2023. There are a few extra galas that I could have entered towards the back end of this year. However, given that I've been going at this for 12 months, I'm deciding to take a little bit of a break and prioritise seeing friends and family over this festive season. So decided not to enter those in the end. Unfortunately, I've been unable to achieve my goal of swimming 100 metres freestyle in under 60 seconds, with the best time being achieved at these European Championships with a 101.26. However, that being said, I've come a significantly long way since the 104.41 that I set last year at the South Yorkshire Masters Championships 2022. So over a 3-second improvement in my 100 metres freestyle over the course of these 12 months. So whilst I didn't manage to achieve my ultimate goal, I can still say that this season has been successful, where I have made significant improvement in that. And I think that sub 60 second 100 free is certainly on its way, hopefully within the next year, but if not, certainly within the next 2. So it's definitely time, once I've had this break, to crack on and just absolutely nail it. Subscribe to my channel to make sure that you're notified of whenever I upload any new videos. Click on the thumbnail to watch another video of mine, or for my fellow master swimmers, to gain clarity and confidence on how to eat in order to improve your swim times, head to westcough.com/masterclass.